STEM story with Mr. Ewing. And our guest is Janitarium from the Planetarium. That is I. And today we're gonna do something that I love to do at the Planetarium is look up. We're gonna look up with me by Neil deGrasse Tyson, A Life Among the Stars. To me, I couldn't think of anything more exciting to read about. Look up with me, the Neil deGrasse Tyson story, A Life Among the Stars by Jennifer Byrne, illustrated by Lorraine Nam. Everyone should have their mind blown once a day. Neil deGrasse Tyson was born curious. The secrets of 1 billion galaxies lie there, waiting for him to explore in their cosmic mysteries. He just had to look up. Up beyond the city lights, up at the shining stars, up through the Milky Way and past the veil of the night sky. Follow young Neil's journey as he discovers the wonders of space, the thrill of science, and the joy of sharing the beauty of our amazing universe. Look up with me, Neil deGrasse Tyson, A Life Among the Stars by Jennifer Byrne, illustrations by Lorraine Nam, with an introduction by Neil deGrasse Tyson. Most grown-ups have forgotten what it is like to be a kid. Some don't remember on purpose, hurrying life along as fast as they can. For others, memories of being a kid simply fade from view. I'm a full-grown grown-up. In fact, I'm so grown up that I have grown-up kids of my own. But I still feel like a kid. I feel like a kid my entire life. Why? Because I'm a scientist. Scientists are kids who never lost their natural childhood curiosity about the world. Kids who lose that curiosity, usually around middle school, become normal adults. But kids who retain the curiosity eventually become scientists, either in their hearts or in their professions. So even as you grow older, never stop being a kid. This will guarantee that the world, even the universe itself, remains your playground of curiosity. What a beautiful sentiment by Mr. Tyson. As a scientist myself at the planetarium, I love these words. Never forget about being a kid. Let's read our story. Look up. On an autumn afternoon in 1958, in the city of New York, on the third planet out from the sun, in the Milky Way galaxy, a little baby boy was born. Neil deGrasse Tyson opened his eyes, and there it was, the universe, just waiting to be discovered. At first, Neil's world was small, his building blocks and little books, his yo-yos and gyroscopes. During the days, Neil went to school, to the park, and to the museums. At night, he looked out the window of his apartment building and saw other buildings, streets, and streetlights, and here and there, small bits of sky, until one day, Neil went to New York City's famous Hayden Planetarium. As he sat beneath the high arch of the theater, out went the lights and Shazam! Waza! Neil's mind was launched into outer space. In a single instant, his world expanded 100 times, 1,000 times even more. Projected on the huge dome above his head was the night sky with countless thousands of stars. A gigantic, spectacular, beautiful cosmos Neil never knew existed. And in that moment, His life was changed forever. Neil started reading everything he could about the planets, moons, and stars. He wondered where comets came from. What makes galaxies spin? How big is outer space? He learned the word astrophysicist, the kind of scientist who studies all those things, the kind of scientist he wanted to become someday. Neil pasted glow-in-the-dark stars all over the ceiling in the shapes of constellations. At night, with the lights out, it felt as though his bed were floating in the huge magnificence of space. After exploring the skies with binoculars and a small telescope, Neil was determined to get a bigger, more powerful telescope to bring the heavens even closer to his eyes, and he figured out just how to do it. Dogs. For 2 entire years after school, Neil walked neighborhood dogs. Big ones, small ones, fluffy ones, scruffy ones. At 50 cents a walk, he worked hard and finally got his telescope. Night after night, Neil carried his heavy telescope up to the roof of his building. Nervous neighbors called the police to report a tall burglar with a dangerous weapon. When the officers arrived, Neil explained it was a telescope and showed them the beauty of his favorite planet, Saturn, magnified 100 times, its golden globe, its icy rings, and many moons. So, although they arrived with fear and suspicion, they left with awe and wonder. Because of his passion for astronomy, Neil won a scholarship for a voyage across the Atlantic Ocean to view a total solar eclipse. Surrounded by stargazers, researchers, and scientists, Neil was beginning to find his people, his future. Then, at only 15, Neil was invited to give his first astronomy lecture. He was paid $50, which equaled 100 dog walks, and made him realize he could actually make a living by talking about the universe he loved so much. In college and graduate school, Neil's mind traveled farther than it ever had before, flying into outer space with runaway stars, diving into the core of black holes, and leaping from galaxy to galaxy. And when Neil wasn't being his cosmic self, he enjoyed being his dancing self, his wrestling self, and his picture-taking self, or, most of all, his laughing self. When Neil graduated, he made sharing the wonders of the cosmos his world as a teacher, a researcher, and a writer. He wrote a magazine column in the made-up character of Merlin, a 5-billion-year-old visitor from the Andromeda galaxy who answered people's questions about astronomy and the cosmos. Then Neil got what just might be the coolest job on Earth. He became the director of the Haydn Planetarium. In the very place that expanded Neil's world so many years before, it became his turn to expand ours. Today, in his dazzling sky shows, Neil takes us to the edge of the universe, inside the center of the stars, and back to the beginning of time. Not only does Neil bring us the stars in the sky, but through books and tours, TVs and radio shows, he has become a star himself, right here on Earth. A superstar of science, shining his bright light on the secrets of the universe. Neil believes everyone should have their minds blown at least once a day, and he does his best to make sure that happens. The wonders of the universe are always with Neil, day and night. At the beach, Neil thinks about the 8 minutes and 20 seconds that sunbeams take traveling through space at the speed of light to land on his nose and toes to warm his entire body. When Neil sees stars through his window at night, he thinks about how their light took thousands of years to get here, and that there are newborn stars whose lights haven't got to Earth or won't get to Earth for 1,000 or more years into the future. Invisible stars for now. Then he closes his eyes and goes to sleep in his beloved cosmos. As much as Neil loves the amazing facts of the universe, he is also fascinated by the mysteries and the unknowns, and the just beginning to be knowns, and the barely knowns. The mysteries, the mysterious pull of invisible dark matter, the push of dark energy, expanding our universe, ever larger, ever faster. The wormholes, the faster-than-light passageway through space and through time. All the mind-blowing secrets that will be explored by the next generations of scientists and the next, perhaps by you. One simple wish Neil has for the future is that all of us, every person on Earth, go outside at night, look up, look up, look up at the moon, the stars, and the planets, and think about the fact that we are made of the very same stuff they are, of the stardust atoms of long ago exploded stars, and that we're all part of the very same thing, this amazing, beautiful, spectacular, mind-blowing universe that is our home. This is our world. This is us. I think what I love about this story the best is that Mr. Tyson, Neil deGrasse Tyson, has one wish for all of us, and that's that each of us have our mind blown every day. Go out and get your mind blown today. Thank you.